And I've been traveling a lot lately. Like I said, I got back from the UK and I did some festivals there, and I had a really tough time getting into the UK. Plus, out of Detroit, okay, so let me just start at the beginning. Chicago to Detroit to Amsterdam to Leeds, UK.
Yeah.
That was my flight itinerary. And Chicago to Detroit was easy peasy. And I've done these flights plenty of times in my tenure as an RT. But this time around in Detroit, we were delayed 3 hours, and it was the kind of delay where they board you and then they delay you.
Oh, no.
That's the worst kind, because you can't even get to the bathroom. At least if you're delayed while you're still in the terminal, you can like get something to eat, watch some TV, go have like a $12 margarita at Chili's, or whatever, you know. You can just kill time. Not so much. And at that point, I didn't really think about my connecting flight in Amsterdam, because it's like still 9 hours away. So we finally take off, and first of all, it's maintenance issues, and that's always a little disconcerting when you're about to fly across an ocean. The engine's starting. Yeah, it's like, and it was multiple things. So,
oh my God.
You know, that's why it was so delayed, and then they were waiting for
engine problems.
Yeah, exactly. So,
There's on the plane, so you knew there was something on the wing.
on the wing for sure. We got John Lithgow. No, John Lithgow was on the plane wing. Actually, it was crazy. That was our major. That was the major reason why we were delayed, and also the major reason why we finally got out of there. You know. But anyway, so I land in Amsterdam, and the Amsterdam airport is gigantic. It's huge. I think it's the largest airport in the world as far as all the connecting flights that happen there between all of Europe and Asia as well. You know, pretty much everywhere. Okay, it's like the hub. It's like the center point. So I get there, and it's the same day where I think it was an Air Pakistan flight had to have an emergency landing at Heathrow. It was like last week, happened last week. There was something, their engine had a problem mid-air, so they had to have an emergency landing at Heathrow. So it threw off all UK, like incoming UK flights. It was just like a nightmare there. In Amsterdam even, you know, a lot of people on my flight were going to UK, so I'm sitting there, well no, I'm not sitting there anymore. I'm like actively looking for someone to help me out. Because it's just a nightmare in that airport. So I finally find someone, and they're like, oh, you're going to Leeds. All these people are going to London, and that's why all this hustle and all this stress over here, because they can't get there. So I get booked onto the next flight, which was like 9 hours later.
Oh my God.
There was one in between, but it was oversold and all that jazz. So they gave me the vouchers. And realistically, when you get like a meal voucher at an airport, you can like realistically, after, you know, you sit down and you're like, okay, great, I think I'll have, whatever give me your best burger or whatever, you know. And then you get it, and then you get the bill. It's like, okay, this voucher covers like maybe a quarter of what this costs. Right? But it's like, but it's still like $20. But everything's so expensive at the airport. So, anyway, my pity party
Margarita count as
is only beginning. Huh?
Does the margarita count as a meal?
I don't know if they have margaritas in Amsterdam. And I was also bummed out because at Burger King in Amsterdam, I'm a big fan of this movie called Pulp Fiction, and they talk about
the
Royale with cheese, and there isn't a Royale with cheese on the Burger King menu, and I was really upset. Not that I would have had one.
That's France and McDonald's.
And then
No, it was
And then McDonald's, and he didn't know what a Whopper was called because he didn't go to Burger King.
He said McDonald's.
No.
Did you movie? No, he went to McDonald's.
All right, let's YouTube it. Wait, I'm YouTube it.
Whopper.
But then,
God.
but then in Birmingham, at the Birmingham airport on the way home, their chicken sandwich is called a Royale with cheese.
There you go.
So that's kind of backward from what we all
Yeah.
would have wanted.
You don't go to Amsterdam for hamburgers.
It's true. You don't go to Amsterdam for hamburgers.
Yeah.
For me, I sat there for 9 hours in the airport, and I had no sleep as well on the flight before, so I was feeling pretty delirious. Finally, my flight boards that night, gonna get into Leeds, gonna go maybe have some sleep for my show tomorrow, and I get customs to the immigration
no.
office, and they pull me aside, and they're like, okay, what's the guitar, blah, blah, blah.
Clearly there are guys in there.
No, so I've done this 100 times, not 100 times, like at least a dozen times. So, I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this festival called Slam Dunk Festival, yada yada yada, and apparently the paperwork, like my work permit that was supposed to be put through from the festival didn't match what I had on me. So they're like, all right, hold on a minute. And they throw me into this interrogation room, violently, I might add. No. They slam my head down, and they're like, who are you working for?
Never start with the head.
Never start with the head. No, you can't feel the next one. Where's that from?
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, yeah. All right, anyway.
Watch too many movies.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Anyway, so they sit me down, and after all this travel, I've got no sleep. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And apparently, because it was so late at that hour, they wouldn't have let me, enter the country unless this paperwork somehow got sent over. And it was like 11:30 p.m. their time. So, so anyone working the festival that next day would have been sleeping. So they said that I had a half an hour, and if it didn't come through, they'd send me back to Amsterdam. Okay.
Oh my God.
So at this point, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel.
What?
I just don't know what to think or feel at this point. So
You look at me, I'm like,
I'm trying to engage the whole audience here. Okay, I'm trying to engage everyone, particularly you. So with like 10 minutes left before doomsday for me, the paperwork finally comes through, and the guys come back in, and apparently he Googled me while he was waiting for the paperwork, and then he came back in, and he was a totally different guy. Like, changed his tune completely, and he was super nice, and he's like, hey man, like, I really, really dig your stuff, like, you're doing a great thing, like, best of luck, in his British accent, which I'm not gonna embarrass all.
Hey, try it.
Maybe later.
Wait till the Johnny comes out.
So yeah, that's my travel story, but I didn't lose any of my luggage, which was amazing, because with all those delays and all the hoopla, I would have, at least someone would have left the guitar behind. But this morning they did. So I usually have 2 guitars, so I'll just, that's why I've chosen to, instead of playing twice the amount of songs I usually do, I'm just going to tell stories that last about 25 minutes a piece. No, not really, but I'll just switch tunings later. I got it.
nothing.
No, I'm sure it was highly offensive.
Mildly offensive. Like, you know her so well. Is that any different?
Yes, he does.
No, it's nothing different. I mean,
Did you say wildly offensive or mildly offensive?
I said mildly.
Okay.
I said wildly.
It's the best kind.
Wildly offensive.